Hello there everyone, Ashnflash here, and welcome on into a really exciting news video. Today, I'm finally able to talk about my experience that I got to have playing LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and I actually got to play 90 minutes worth of the game, played through all of A New Hope, as well as I also was privileged to a early demo, and they just showed off so much more that I didn't actually get to play. And we're going to talk about all of that, and we're going to talk about what it means for the game in terms of a ton of different categories that you can actually check. Link down below if you want to skip around. And I'm not sure, this is probably going to be the last video here on the main channel of the Skywalker Saga, unless there's like DLC announced, which means that all the playthroughs are actually happening over on Ashnflash Extra, and you can actually see that today I'm posting all of the different parts that I got to play through of A New Hope, so you could check that out. I've got the different times and things like that if you want to stay tuned for when the different parts are dropping today, so I'm really excited about that. And I'm also being sent a copy early, I believe, so I'm also going to be able to put up a bunch of more content very, very soon in the coming days, maybe? I'm not too sure, but we're not too far off of when the game is actually releasing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's jump into things. The very first thing that I think is really important to me when it comes to video games is the voice acting. And I know that that has been a big question and concern for a lot of people when it comes to this game. Of course, we have heard different voices and things like that already from past trailers, but being able to actually sit down and watch this really long demo, we got to hear a lot of the different voices of people playing all these Star Wars characters in this game, covering all 9 of the movies. And I gotta say, I was so concerned because that was my biggest problem with LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, is the voice cast was just such a huge downgrade from the previous Marvel games, and it just like really took me out of the story. And besides the story not being the strongest, this, however, is really important. They are not using voice lines, I don't believe, from the actual movies. They have actual voice actors coming in and doing these lines. So a couple of different names that I want to say here that have actually lent their talent to the voices here for the characters, I believe, are Matt Lanter, the voice of Anakin Skywalker from the Clone Wars, as well as James Arnold Taylor from the Clone Wars as well, doing Obi-Wan Kenobi, I believe a young Obi-Wan. We also have Tom Kane doing Qui-Gon as well as Yoda, I believe. Also Corey Burton as Count Dooku, which is really cool. All these Clone Wars actors, including Matthew Wood for the Battle Droids, and Sam Witwer, of course, as well. He is voicing Emperor Palpatine and Darth Maul. All of these people, really, really great. Now, for the rest of the cast, besides Anthony Daniels doing C-3PO, I can't really make out anyone else specifically, but I think that like the sound alikes are really good, specifically for, obviously with the prequels, they could just dip in and steal from the Clone Wars, but when it came to the original trilogy, I was really concerned. So it looks like most of the voice actors there are doing a really good job, especially I was so worried about the trio, Han, Luke, and Leia. They seem really good, as well as the Ben Kenobi sound great. Also, IMDb has Billy D. Williams listed for Lando, which is really awesome as well. When it came to the sequel trilogy, I don't believe anyone is there, although John Boyega did voice Finn in Battlefront 2, so I do wonder if he would come back for that, but I'm not sure. I've been really impressed by the voice cast, so I'm really excited to hear the rest of everyone else that we still have to hear, of course, for the game, and especially like getting all the Clone Wars people back here, I think was really, really cool. The combat's very interesting. We got a really good look at this, and you could see that there's actually like combos on the side there with the lightsabers and things like that. Of course, you've also got the different cover and behind like barricades and the walls that we've already seen from other trailers with the blasters, and if you go for the head, you are able to defeat the enemies a lot quicker, and like their helmets pop off. It's really, really cool, and the combat that I got to experience as well, you could check out from the playthroughs. I didn't really get too much experience with the lightsabers, but again, I was on keyboard and mouse, so not very easy to use versus a controller, I would think. But that kind of leads into the boss battle, which we got to see Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting off against Count Dooku, and that was really cool. There was like different waves there, sort of like past Lego games, but you've got like even like a little boss logo that pops up saying like you're fighting Count Dooku here. So I thought that was really neat, and I'm really they didn't shy away from killing him either. So that was really cool. But next up here, leading on into the space battles, we did actually get to see a lot of Poe actually flying around in the X-Wing from The Last Jedi. And then, of course, I also got to play the trench run from A New Hope, which was a lot of fun as well. I think that the flying here is really, really great. I cannot wait to see what that looks like in open space. And I'm just so excited to fly these things around. And speaking of what's going on in space, we know that like the capital ship sometimes will just appear. It's like brick built, but it's on such a large scale that you could make out the different Lego pieces that like all these tiny pieces are creating. Like, it's really crazy. They said, I think in the last playthrough or whatever it was that they were showing off, that everything you see in the game there when it comes to the ships, that's all actually built out of Lego. All of the bricks. That is insane. So I assume the same as with the Death Star there. You can see like all the different hinges. It's really impressive, and I can't wait to see like the rest of this stuff. Like, I'm loving just the idea of, oh, like here's like this roller skate piece, but it's like on this huge scale. So really love that. I'm really impressed by that. And the open worlds, there's so much to do. We got to see a little bit of Agent Kloss and just doing some of the side missions to get the Kyber bricks and just exploring all that. Unfortunately, when it comes to Tatooine, it doesn't look like it's all connected. It's not one big open world. You do have to actually hop onto a land speeder to go over to like Mos Eisley, as well as I assume it would be the same thing to go over to Jabba's palace and different things like that. So it's not like you can kind of walk around or even drive around. Like, you can't take a land speeder and just go there. So it's okay. I get that would be really difficult to do, and I understand why that's there. The load times were a little slow for me, but it could just be that I don't have like a physical version of the game. Like, I'm literally streaming and getting access to a demo online, so I hope that it was just that, and that the load times will be a lot better on things like the PS5 and stuff like that. But on that, like the open world, it kind of ties into this next thing with the Kyber bricks. The Kyber bricks are these bricks that you're going to be getting around the different worlds, and it will actually allow you to upgrade the different characters. And there's all these different classes. We'll talk about that in a second. But there's actually 1,166 Kyber bricks to collect. That's crazy, around all the different open worlds. Now, that may seem like a lot, but it's actually not, because they actually showed off that there's like sometimes in space you'll find like an asteroid, and if you shoot it and destroy it, there's 5 Kyber bricks inside. So I don't know if there's like other missions that'll give you like 4 or 2, I don't know, but I just think that's really interesting that while that seems like such a huge number, if there's like an asteroid per world that's just out in space that you have to destroy, then it's not as bad as like finding one every single time. And some of them are just so easy to come across as well. They're not necessarily doing a mission for a character. So yeah, and speaking of characters, it's pretty crazy, the roster here that they have, like going through all of the different classes. You can see the list there. We've got Jedi, Hero, Scavenger, Scoundrel, Bounty Hunter, Villain, Darkside, Astromech Droid, Protocol Droid, and then also at the very bottom we have the extra one, which just seems to also be different versions of characters. And I'm not sure, they said it's 300 plus characters. I'm going to assume, just looking at all the different spots here on the roster, that means different characters, not outfits. So like out of that 300, 10 of them aren't Obi-Wan. Like, Obi-Wan is only one of the 300, I believe. So there's a lot here, and you could see like the Rancor actually like running around on Coruscant, scaring civilians. Like, this game is not shying away, and I'm so excited to see just some of the more obscure characters that they will have in this game, like other Lego games seem to do. They love doing that, pulling the deep references and things like that. So I can't wait for that. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What did you think of the demo here? The demo wound up leaking over the weekend, unfortunately, but I just kind of showed you like the snippets and the highlights. And of course, we're going to be experiencing all this as well on the Ashnflash Extra channel very, very soon. So I'm so excited to share that all with you guys as well. So be sure to subscribe to that channel and this one so you don't miss out on future Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga news, and then all the playthroughs on that other channel, which we will have all of A New Hope up by the end of the day. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope you all have a great day. We'll see you all in the next one.